Welcome to the channel. You're Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison, Theologist, New South Wales, Australia. Well, I want to bring you this video on my experiences with single mums. I'm 60-year-old, guys. I've been on the battlefield and I've come out. I've been with the medics. The medics have done their work on me after it all, and I have to say, guys, it's not. It's what they say. It's not. I'll put it to you this way. When you meet a single mum, first thing I want to say is single mums aren't single. They're not single. That's crap. They've got their children. They're psychologically DNA bonded, emotionally bonded with their children. They really don't need a man. They can sit there with their pets and their children and food and drugs and alcohol and smokes and whatever else they do, and be quite content just like that. They don't need a man. You've got to understand that. These women are not single. They're not single. Okay? And if they are single, it's for a good reason. 9 times out of 10, I'd say these women have provoked the situation where they've ended up single. Not all. And you've got to realize before you enter in that you're going into enemy territory, because the family members and the children are not going to like you. In fact, it'll be enmity. Enmity means an unreconcilable situation. Now, how would I know that? Well, I grew up in a family like this, and you can't accept someone that's not your father. You're just not going to accept it. Okay, so I've had several single mother relationships and put 100% effort into it, and these women are broken, shattered. Okay, that's one aspect. The other aspect is the enemy. The enmity you're going to have, no matter how good you are or bad you are, no matter who you are not going to be received by these people's children, or usually the relatives. You're an enemy. Okay, they will be at enmity with you before you even get there. You don't know what's happened to these women before you come along. It's highly likely that they're going to wreck the situation anyway. The sex is really not. Women just have sex the way women have sex, whether they got children or not. They're not spectacular or anything different. There's no advantages there. Now, you might think, well, if they got young children, that's bad. And if the children are 18 and over, then that should be... No, guys. The older children are the worst. The older children are the worst. I had my worst conflicts, right? Passive-aggressive conflicts. Things I wasn't even aware of, from these 20-year-old plus people that were absolute, I don't know what to say, at enmity. They were at enmity with anything that threatened taking their mummy away from them. These are adult children. I mean, 20 to 30-year-old people. They didn't want mummy to have a boyfriend. They didn't want mummy to be happy. They wanted mummy for themselves. And you know what the funny part about it is? Mummy, even though you're sleeping with her and all the rest of it, wanted them just as much as they wanted her. You're a fill-in, guys. You're just a means of satisfaction for her. And she's entitled to that. If you're the one that chooses to do that, you'll be conditioned, brilliantly psychologically, micro-incrementally conditioned to work around the covert emotional incest relationship that she's having with the children and that they're having with her. She'll use the children against you and you against the children. The manipulation will be endless, the control will be endless, and the enmity, let's not forget the enmity. Man, I've been, and I tell you, you gotta give me 10, look guys, you gotta give me 10 points for trying. I've had these dysfunctional males, mummies, boys, stop me from going to their place. Stop me from going to the house to see mummy. I've been going there for 12 months. This one lot, they weren't going to have it. They didn't have the intelligence, they didn't have the maturity to understand what she wanted. And you know the silly part about it? She went along with it, guys. Oh, she was coming over to the mansion and lapping all that up. But nah. So I thought, I'll tolerate this. I'll see what happens here and see what this woman's about, right? See how she goes navigating this. So I let it run. After about 3 months, I said, righto, so where are we up to here? Oh no, so-and-so doesn't want to sort this out yet, and I'm watching this woman and I'm going, this is absolutely hilarious, absolutely hilarious. And so I decided that I'm gonna have to see what happens here. Like, curiosity got the better of me, and there's always this pullback, there's always this emotional emptiness with these people. They come over and they get filled up. They'll bring a packet of biscuits and some dip. If you ask them to bring things, they'll usually bring it, which is really good. Like, they do try, but you can tell they got no intention of causing any conflict with their children. Reason being is it's all self-prophesied. You've got to realize this. It's all self-prophecy. They know that if the relationship fails, which is highly likely because it's already in enmity, it's already at war, she ain't trying to fix anything, that she can fall back like a piece on a chessboard to where she's safe. She doesn't make moves in the game to put you in the right place. She uses the children as a way of not having to be accountable in a constructive way. You can't build anything with them. There's no building anything substantial, because by the time they're at the age of 50 and 30, 40, 50, it's all too late. They know that their options are going to be probably to be on their own, and it's self-prophesized. The children are like leeches. They're draining everything out of her, and she's happy to do that because it gives her a sense of identity. They say that they think they live like they owe these people something. They're adults. They're not even children. They're adults, grown adults. And these people are so infantile. And they'll do everything they can to get rid of you. You have to be removed. Now, if you've got anything substantial going on in your life that she really likes, she'll come out and see you, and then she'll go back. And because they're so conditioned, they're decades and decades conditioned, they've ruined their relationship with the man that brought the child into the world. They've ruined that relationship. They become conditioned to living with these adult children. They disable them so that they won't say all this, but you can see it. They psychologically disable them. They make them stay dependent. There's always this mummy adult child bond. And I had to say to her, keep these people out of this relationship or you're out. So this is how bent and twisted it is, guys, coming in off the warfield of single mothers. It's a joke. The big crescendo for the last one, which I'd had it with anyway because I'd been unable to even want to deal with these people. The enmity coming out of whatever was wrong with her children. And I mean, they weren't right. They were wrong the whole time. She wouldn't stand up for the relationship. And it was like being in this invisible battle against the powers of interference and darkness. And it wore away her credibility. I mean, this woman had no idea, she had no self-awareness that it was wearing away at her credibility in my mind. And I got advice and I got some counselling on it. And they're going, it seems to us like you're in a situation where it's not going to change, it's probably going to get worse. And you're a convenience, which you have to accept if you're prepared to do that. And I was trying to be a good guy and do all the right things, but it was all one-sided. I was like a gorilla in a cage that was getting visited by its owner, and then the owner would go back to wherever it lived and got on with its life. It was bizarre, man. It was bizarre. And then it got to this stage where it was all going to crescendo in this meeting with the enemies, as you would put it, enemies, because in the end I couldn't have cared less. I had no time for them at all. My two boys wanted to go down there and just try and work out what the problem was, and I axed all that. Like, everybody had had enough. We'd all had enough of it. She had no idea whatsoever. She was completely unaware of where I was at, and where she was unaware of herself. And then nothing was believable. Just, it all became unbelievable. It was so dysfunctional and so out of sorts that it was completely unbelievable that somebody would put themselves at that point in their life in such a destructive demonstration of a woman in a relationship that had all the elements of being healthy. She'd come over and she'd be on stuff, and oh no, it was, and then, oh no. And then we're going to have this family, couldn't go down there for a cup of tea, and then we're going to go to this family turnout together. And I just thought, this woman's absolutely mad. These people are mad. And I contacted her and I said, look, I'm really starting to struggle with this, because I went into an oppression. And this is where you got to be careful, because it'll eat away at your mind. And she said, well, why didn't you fix it? And I've gone, why didn't I fix it? I never even had a problem. I was dealing with these passive-aggressive villains in the background that I really hadn't. The relationship really didn't even have anything to do with them. This is what you're dealing with. And I just watched this woman not just psychologically destroy herself and twist their brains with what she was doing. And I've gone, covert emotional incest, look it up, is probably the most dangerous psychological form of punishment that a man or a woman or a girl or a boy, if you get caught up with these children, could go through. It's so covert and so damaging. And these women, and she was aware because I taught her all about it and how we watched these people disintegrate, psychologically disintegrate these adult boys because they wanted mummy so bad. And I've seen the younger ones go through this as well because they don't want the attention being taken away from them or the risk that mummy might leave. Because this woman knew there was potential for us to live out the rest of our lives together if we wanted. Then I thought to myself, what's the point? If you don't get along with these people, turning up normal and doing the best you can, what's the point in any of it at all? And I'm telling you, people that haven't been there yet, there's no point. There's just no point because you are an enemy. You've got to understand. Look, I'm just saying it how it is. It doesn't matter what you do. I'm a millionaire. I'm a millionaire, right? Doesn't matter. I'm fit, healthy. I did 3,562 kilometers of exercise last year on top of laying bricks, on top of all the sex and everything else. I'm not a slouch for a 60-year-old man. And I know how to entertain a woman. I really do know how to make them feel as good as anybody can make them feel without drugs and shit and garbage, which destroys them anyway. And guys, you're not going to win. It's not going to work. I don't care how hard it's going to be for you or what you got to have to do. There's never ever going to be anything substantial with a single mum. I've been there. I've been out on the battlefield and I've come back with the intel, years and years of intel, years of 100% input. You'll be demasculinized. These children will try and demasculinize you, and she'll let them. That was the most disgusting part. That was the most evil part. And these children will wear her down to the point where you won't care either. Because in the spirit realm, it's wearing you down as well. And you're watching this woman do nothing. They just don't do anything. They're hopeless. I had one woman 20 years ago that used to discipline this little boy. And he turned out to be very successful in the Navy. These other ones after that, it was the most disgusting demonstration of parenting that I've ever seen. It was disgusting. I've told these women they're like Alice out of the Brady Bunch. They're like wives to these young adult infantile men. God only help the women that get involved with these guys. And God help the men that get involved with these mothers. I'm just telling you guys, I've been to the other side. I'm out of the medics fucking tent. I've done all the processing. I've tried to be fair. I've tried to think about it from a fair perspective. Honestly, I have, as a Christian minister and ending up with my life the way it has. Don't date single mothers. Don't do it. I'm telling you. I am telling you from my experience as a Christian and being out on the battlefield with them. You cannot succeed. They won't let you succeed. Please just pray. If you're going to get involved, just pray and understand that it's not going to be what you think. It's just not. And these women know. They know the experience that they had and what they were given. But it's just not going to beat the bond, the emotional incestual bond, enmeshment, parentification. See, this is how bad it gets. These women, these grown women, will shift roles with the children. The children will become the parent, and the parent will become the child. That's the greatest form of dysfunction that you can see. When the children, these children that can't even manage themselves, are parenting the parent. I've had these women, they get on the internet with their male sons, picking people for them and getting involved. They share their intimate details with them. They listen to them having sex and bash on the floor. Nah, you're just a piece of meat. You really are. And when you break off with them, they disappear into the sunset because they know, underneath they know it was all just a hoax. It was all what they could get. Think very wisely, guys. Watch as many single mother videos on YouTube and everywhere else that you can. I've been as fair as I can be, right? I'm 60-year-old. I've been out on the battlefield for with the single mums probably well over 25 years. And you are not going to win. And if you have, good luck to you. But for the most part, guys, be aggressive about being the best version of yourself that you can be, and get a woman that's going to build with you and stand by you. Not someone that's just going to be 1 foot on each side of the fence and just be a horrible, weak, spineless, self-unaware woman. Reverend Dr. J.W. Morrison. Bye for now.